So now that we've had a week to spend in this brand new 2025 GMC YUKON Denali Ultimate, I have a pretty big list of things that I like about it and things that I don't necessarily care for about it. But ultimately, is this worth spending over $107,000 on? Let's find out. Hang tight. I'll be right back. So right off the bat, we are not new to the Denali family from GMC. We have a 2023 GMC Sierra 1500 Denali that we've had for, well, since 2023. And this truck has the 3-liter LZO Duramax diesel engine in it, which has been a fantastic engine with ridiculously good fuel economy. And when you drive this truck and you see the type of range and fuel economy you get out of it, you almost wish that that was the standard engine in an SUV like this. So as much as I like the sound and I like the power that the 6.2 liter gives you, I really wish this had the 3-liter diesel. And I know it's an option, but I wish the one that we had been testing had that 3-liter diesel option in it, so I could have seen how the fuel economy looked from a full-size SUV perspective versus just a pickup truck. Now, as with all Denali products, they all look super great. I mean, the front end of this thing is absolutely bold. It looks beautiful. The LED accent lights, the animation, all of that stuff just stands out. It really looks iconic when it's going down the road, and it garners a lot of attention. Matter of fact, I was picking up a package at a store, and after they loaded it in the back, they were all staring out the back door at this vehicle, just like, wow, that's a really good looking vehicle. So I rolled the window down and I said, hey, y'all can come look at it if you'd like. And they said, no, we're just admiring it. So yes, these things garner a tremendous amount of attention, as do really anything that's new from the GMC Denali side of the house. It's just a really elegant, high-end, luxurious looking vehicle in general. And since we've been testing this, I've had an opportunity to test out just about every aspect of it, from the night vision system, yes, thermal night vision, to the really nice and super bright LED front headlights. It has this really cool kind of 3-way headlight projector assembly on it, which really does cast a great amount of light out on the road. It's really wide, and it actually is brighter and more focused than the lights on the Denali, which are also kind of this double bubble projector LED light. When we talk about ride and comfort, you know, the ride in this vehicle is absolutely buttery smooth. The one thing that is a little bit odd feeling, and that's not really odd, it just feels a little different than what you would experience from any other seat in the vehicle, is when you're driving it and you're holding onto the steering wheel. Because this has 24-inch wheels, you kind of feel some of that in the steering wheel. It feels, I guess, I don't want to say rough, but you can feel any of the terrain you're driving over a little bit more through the steering wheel than you can sitting down in any of the other seats, or if you took your hands off the steering wheel, because this does have Super Cruise, which is the hands-free driving feature that the folks over at GMC offer with some of their higher-end vehicles. So that said, super smooth. The air suspension that's adaptive, it can raise and lower, and it is really cool. It's a 4-wheel drive vehicle, so you can actually put it in a higher position if you're going to be doing any type of semi-off-roading in this, which I really wouldn't recommend, but if you were, you have that option. But the air suspension is buttery smooth. It is a great riding vehicle, but again, you feel a little bit of the road vibration, a little bit of, you know, any type of bumps or jolts or anything in the road in the steering wheel itself. So from the side view, you can really see the wheels and how they stand out. Now, the vehicle is in kind of a convenience mode where it's been lowered down, because when you get out of the vehicle, the airbags kind of drop the air, so it's easier to get in and out of. It does have deploying running boards as well, as you would expect from a vehicle like this. But because the wheels are so large, it kind of makes the SUV look more like a mid-size SUV from the side. Having a slightly smaller wheel, in my opinion, wouldn't have taken away from the look at all, but it would have definitely made the SUV feel or look a little larger. But the larger the wheel you put on it, sometimes it makes the SUV actually look a little smaller, as is the case here. Okay, so now that we're inside the vehicle, I want to show you all a hidden storage feature I didn't even know this vehicle had. So naturally you have, you know, interesting storage areas throughout this vehicle if you need to store like your glasses. This is actually a pretty good spot for sunglasses and driving glasses and reading glasses. I kind of criticized the fact that it didn't have the pocket up here, which I still wish it did, but this is large enough that you can easily store all sorts of different types of glasses and chargers and other stuff inside of there if you'd like. So yeah, that's a cool storage. This is a reasonable size storage, but this is also where your USB, USB-C, and your phone charging for wireless charging is. But a storage, again, I didn't even know existed, was this button up here. When you press, it actually slides the center console back. And once you have it all the way back, you now have this large area you can put things temporarily. You kind of sacrifice your armrest when you do that. You definitely don't want to close it while there's stuff in this area. But what you also get is this storage drawer right here, which I think there's a lot of folks who automatically know what you could store there if it was kind of a semi-compact version of what you need, if that makes sense. So we can close this up. And what's nice about this is if somebody breaks into the vehicle, unless they can turn the power on, this is not an area they're going to be able to access. You open this up, you have your normal center console right here, so you can keep all of your stuff in there. And yeah, it's just a really cool thing that they've put here. Now, this is something that's kind of par for the course when it comes to Cadillacs, but it's the first time I've really seen this type of storage integrated into GMC. I think they had a version of this a year ago, but I'm not 100% sure how it executed. But everything about this vehicle is really nice. The seats are incredibly comfortable. They have tons and tons and tons of features, including massaging, which I think a lot of people expected. Got a lot of massaging features. They're heated and ventilated. You can adjust all sorts of aspects of the seat. The air conditioning vents are positioned perfectly to get a lot of air on you, which is really, really nice. You have these huge digital displays. This one's over 16 inches, and this one's, I think, 12 inches. Again, a lot of information. You can toggle through different types of screens. That's one of the perks of having a digital display like this. It was really easy to drive. This is a fun vehicle to be in. It is a beautiful SUV. The real estate of the screen is a little bit more than I like. Big screens are nice, but you're reaching across a massive area to get to some of your menus. And sometimes the icons and the little things that they show you here, you have to learn what they actually do. You can spend quite a bit of time trying to figure this vehicle out just to find out that whenever you need to use a feature, you may have forgotten where it was. Something else that's kind of cool, and it's a feature I had enabled and then I turned off because it was actually becoming more of a pesky solution versus something I needed, was the proximity to the tailgate, where you can turn a feature on that if you have the key in your pocket, you can walk near the lift gate and it will lift up for you. You just have to stand back there for a few seconds. It will start beeping at you, and then the lift gate will lift up. And I guess that's kind of their version of, you know, folks who have to kick their foot underneath the back of the lift gate, like on my wife's vehicle. I don't really care for that because I was walking around the back of the vehicle slowly just to see what would happen, and the lift gate came up, and that's just not a scenario that I want to have to deal with. So I turned that feature off, but for some people, they may absolutely love that feature. Super Cruise was super cool. Spent some time with that. Made a video of my wife driving the vehicle so you could actually see what it's like for someone who's never dealt with a hands-free driving solution before. So go back and check out that video. Has tons and tons of features. Never used the thermal night vision in a practical way. We turned it on, it's cool, but I still kind of struggle to figure out exactly when I would use that in a real scenario, unless I'm going down like a ranch road, long driveway, and I just need to be sure I'm not going to hit something that's crossing the road. But aside from that, it's not a very practical solution. It's more of kind of a niche, I don't know, luxury feature that it's cool to have, even though you may not ever use it. Rear view camera mirrors are nice. I really wish that they would start incorporating surround dash camera and recording cameras in this vehicle, kind of like Tesla does. There's so many times when you're parking next to someone, this black vehicle would show a door ding super easily, and it would be great if they could incorporate some of the cameras that are already here to actually record what's taking place when events happen. I think that would be a really nice feature. Air conditioning controls, all of this was super easy to use, especially because they still maintain physical buttons, even though the function of the button is on the screen now. The volume knob is a little interesting because it's so large and in the middle, and you have to touch the outer ring. It would have been nice if they had a smaller one, a little closer to the driver. I wish the trailer brake controller was on this side as well, instead of tucked away down here on the side. But aside from that, it's a really, really nice vehicle. It's comfortable to be in. Like I said, you feel a little bit of the road condition through the steering wheel because of those enormous wheels that they put on here, even though those wheels look absolutely amazing. From a fuel economy perspective, that 15.9 is actually accurate. We did a lot of driving in here, a lot of testing to see exactly what type of fuel economy we would get. The 6.2 liter it drinks a lot of fuel. It really does. And it's about 16 miles per gallon is what we got with normal driving in this SUV. Again, I would really have loved to get the version with that Duramax right there, because I think we would have been in the 20s easily if we had that engine, which is nice because I believe that that is an optional engine for this vehicle. The sound system in here is absolutely phenomenal. I don't necessarily know if I can hear the speakers behind me, which is a good thing. I don't want to know that they're there. Staging and imaging is really important when it comes to sound quality, and it's great to have a sound system that does that well, and this definitely executes on that well. I'm not a big fan of sunroofs, but this does have the panoramic sunroof. The back seats are also super comfortable. My daughter and her friends who rode with us absolutely love them. They love the entertainment systems and the headrests. They were all over YouTube and Googling stuff. I wanted them to really experience what it was like, and they loved them. So a lot of really cool features with these connected headrest displays that came in really handy. Yeah, third row was even comfortable. Having a pass-through right here is probably going to be something we're going to want in our next SUV as our kids grow up and they have to transition from the middle row to the third row. That said, really like this vehicle. It's definitely a wonderful vehicle, and it's at a price point though that you can pretty much pick any brand, any type of vehicle. So you have to play pretty hard if you want to convince someone to spend $107,000+ on a vehicle. And I can tell you that if you have the money to buy something like this, and this is in your wheelhouse, it's definitely worth taking a look at. But for us, I don't think we'd get an SUV that costs this much. So unfortunately, I don't know if the YUKON Denali Ultimate is going to be the next vehicle in our driveway, unless we can find one equipped the way we want for about $20,000 less. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. Sure hope you enjoyed all the videos with this new Denali. It is an absolutely gorgeous vehicle. It's a beautiful vehicle. It does so many cool things and it has so much technology that, again, if you have the money and you're looking to spend this much on an SUV, it should definitely be on the short list of SUVs you look at. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.